Hi Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name is Carol and this is going to be a general reading for you, and there's no date on the reading, and I trust that when it comes into your feed it's meant for you. So in today's reading we're going to be doing a check-in, and I want to start off by looking at what situation, issue you're dealing with right now, and I'm going to be using the Curious Travels deck to start off with, and I'll clarify with the Radiant Rider-Waite. So let's ask for one card for Aries for the situation, issue, problem that they're dealing with right now when they're watching this video. You have the King of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. And so another card, we're going to look right here now at excuse me, what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing. And your shadow is the unconscious part of you. It's the part of you that you're not aware of. And it's all those things that we put away when we were younger, as a child or an adolescent. All those things that, you know, we didn't like about ourselves because people told us maybe that, you know, they didn't like certain things about us. So that made us put it away, right? And our memories are in our unconscious and our trauma. We all have trauma on a continuum. And we also have some gifts that are buried in our shadow, because if these gifts of ours, and we all came here on this earth with gifts, and if our parents or our caretakers squelched these and didn't encourage them, didn't validate them, didn't support us, we would have put those away as well. And so it's very interesting, because once we start healing what's in our shadow, we can often find that certain gifts come out that we didn't know we had. Because remember, we don't know what's in our shadow. So, and this is whatever needs healing right here is actually going to be having the most impact and on the situation that you're sitting with right now. So can we have one card for Aries, and what card is sitting in their shadow that needs, that one wanted to come out as well, that needs healing. The Six of Pentacles in reverse. And then the one that said, no, I'm coming out, is the Queen of Wands. She pushed her way through there. Way to go. Way to go. So now, what guidance does the tarot have for you? And this is a healing journey. We're all on it. I know we don't all think we are, but and you know, this is a journey. So we're going to look at some, you know, it could be a small, very small step that we're going to take to start to heal this. And it could feel very big. You know, a lot of our little steps that we take feel very big. So let's have one card for you, Aries, for advice from the tarot. The Three of Cups. I haven't seen that one come out in a while. Three of Cups. All right, so, and my cards were all pre-shuffled before I came on. So let's have some clarifications. A couple cards for the King of Pentacles here. A couple clarifiers. Okay, so you have the Three of Swords. You have the Nine of Wands, and you also have the King of Wands in reverse. Interesting that you have, very interesting that you have two kings sitting here for what issue you're dealing with. And it's like they're bookends, because they're right at the end, one at the beginning, one at the end, right? Very interesting. When I tell you what kings are in my deck, you'll find it very interesting. I do anyway, but it's your reading. So Aries, I need one more card here for Aries to clarify this. These two cards, Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands in reverse. King of Cups, that's the third king on the table, and that one's in your shadow. Three of Cups in, sorry, just the Three of Cups. A couple of clarifiers for the Three of Cups, please. You have the Ten of Wands in reverse. And you have the Eight of Pentacles. Interesting card for you there. All right. So, let's put these so you can see them. We're going to start off with what situation, Aries, you're dealing with, whether it's a problem, a struggle. Well, you start off with, like I said, one of your kings here, your bookends. So you have the King of Pentacles. And the pentacle, well, first of all, the kings in my deck, and there are 4 of them. And they represent the masculine side of us. We have a masculine side and we also have a feminine side. It has nothing to do with gender. It's just that we have the 2 sides of us that carry different qualities in us. And this is our masculine side. This is our ego self, right? It's the part of us that really controls our day-to-day life. It's the part of us that we identify with, that we think it's our adult self, but it's not. It's a part of us. And so this ego self of yours carries a pentacle. And the pentacle is our body. It's very much, pentacle is the earth element, has everything to do with getting back in your body, getting grounded, right? Being very much everything, making all your decisions from your intuition, your being in your body, being grounded. But the ego self will want nothing to do with you going into your body. It will do everything in its power to keep you up in your head. And that's where our ego self rules from. That's where it controls from our head. Because the last thing it wants you to do is to get grounded, to get into your body, and to start to feel those emotions. It doesn't want anything to do with feeling. It's petrified of emotions. And so the ego self is very much, right now, Aries, is very much keeping you in your head. And when that happens, and when you're sitting in that situation, when the ego is very much in control, and remember that, Aries, you are a sign that rules the head. You know, you're very much one that wants to take control, and you're the ignition key of the zodiac. Like, you are the one that says, let's go. But there's a real big difference between let's go, being up in your head with your ego, and let's go from your body, from your intuition, from your inner guidance. Huge difference there. And so you are being led right now by your ego self. And so when the ego does come out, it's what it does is it blocks the pain that is coming up right now in your system. And so if you're quite aware that you have some pain coming up in your system, it could be some emotions that you just don't want to deal with. You probably don't even know what it is. Like, it's something coming up from your shadow right now that's wanting to heal. And it's like it's tugging at you and you can feel it. But you just keep shoving it down, and it is your ego self that will just keep, shoving it down. Doesn't want it to, well, it'll keep you in your head, like I said, because it doesn't want you to go into your body. So there's some pain here that's coming up for you. And the next card comes out is this Nine of Wands, and it's often a card that tells me that this individual has been through a lot. And so I'm seeing here that you have been through a lot, and this is what this pain is coming from. It maybe this is something that's coming up from your childhood, from your adolescence, something that you're needing to heal here. And you're feeling like, you're somebody that really feels like maybe you've put up a lot of these walls so that people won't hurt you anymore. Or maybe you're someone that needs to learn how to set boundaries in your life. Because, you're finding that what's happening is these people around you are triggering you. What they are doing is they're triggering that pain that's wanting to be looked at and wanting to be healed. And so this is you looking like this wounded soldier that you don't know, it's almost like I picture somebody not wanting to go out of the house because they're just, so many people are triggering you and hurting you. And, it's hard after a while to take control of this. And then your King of Wands comes out. Here's another King of Wands right at the end. And again, it's and this one's very ungrounded, this one. Well, this is the King of Wands, and that's the one that, you're wanting to take yourself into this new direction. You're wanting a change. You're wanting a change from your current situation for sure. And this particular king this ego self of yours is blocking you. This is another trait where it will not want you to change what's status quo. Like, it doesn't want you to go into this different direction. It doesn't want you to go into your body and start to feel. It wants to keep you up here. It doesn't believe in, you seeking your truth and you seeking, what you really are meant to do and where you're meant to go. But there's something that's really holding you back, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Or whatever situation you're in right now, there's just some real pain coming up for you right now. And you're feeling quite blocked and you're not sure what to do with it. So let's look at what's coming up from your shadow that needs to heal, that's really impacting this. What you have right here as a first card is your Six of Pentacles, and it's in reverse here. In an upright position, the Six of Pentacles talks about, these individuals that are reaching out to, and really looking for some balance in their life. And this card is often speaks about, it's a real, card of, you can see there's this big hand right here that's holding this scale. And it tips back and forth, In our life, we can feel sometimes that I call it this card is very much a card of unworthiness. And because it often speaks about whatever you feel you're worth, well, that's where the scale is going to tip back and forth. So in the Rider-Waite deck, it really talks about those individuals that are they're beggars, and they're looking for some handouts, and the individual weighs out what they're worth. If you want 3 coins, then here, I'll give you 3 coins. So it's all about this duality. The 6 is about a real duality here of speaks of your worthiness. If you feel like you're worth, so much, that's what you're going to receive. And I think because this is sitting in your shadow, it's in reverse here. And so I think you really had, when you were younger growing up, this sense of this balance where you weren't sure of your sense of worth. There might have been some days when you felt like you were worthy and other days when you weren't. So I'm going to say there was a real confusion on your part to really gain a sense of your self-worth. And right behind it's clarified by the Queen of Wands in reverse. And the Queen of Wands, she's our feminine side, right? We talked about the ego self, that you're very much up in your head, that's where you are right now. But in your shadow is buried a queen. And the quality of the queen, in particular the one with the wand in her hand, speaks about a direction. Queen, a creative direction, a purpose. And we all came here on this planet Earth with a creative purpose, with a specific purpose for us that we were meant to go into. And I think you lost focus when you were younger of your worthiness. And like I said, it was a real balancing act. And you lost sense of your purpose here, because the queen is very much in her body. She lives from her body, she lives from her emotions, and she knows what direction she's supposed to go in. And that's the quality, the feminine quality that we have, that knows our creative purpose. And those two are hidden. They're buried in your shadow because you lost sense of that. And then you had the King of Cups here. And the King of Cups, so this is the ego self that kicked in when you were younger. So what happens is, when you feel very unworthy when you were younger and you lose that sense of direction, because I think you weren't supported when you were younger. I mean, I'm seeing this Nine of Wands that came up here that I said at the beginning, and I didn't even know it was sitting in your shadow, that you look like you've been through a lot. I think you went through a lot when you were younger. I'm talking about trauma. I'm talking about things that happened to you when you were younger that really caused you to doubt your sense of self-worth. And so when we have these big emotions that come up when we're younger, like the unworthiness, that sense of not mattering to people, and especially the ones that are the most important to us, when we're left with that feeling of unworthiness, those are big, big emotions that we can't handle when we're younger. We just can't. And so that's when our ego self kicks in when we're younger. Here, the king, here's the ego self with the cup of emotions, right? The cup represents our emotions. And so that ego self would have kicked in, and it would have dissociated you. And by that I mean it would have taken you out of your body. When we are very young, 4, 5, 6 years old, we knew we had all these emotions. We would have felt all these emotions. We had full access to them. We lived in our body. Look at kids. They live in their body when they're younger. And then when big trauma comes in, when we start feeling these big emotions of unworthiness, we can't handle that as a kid. So this ego self comes in and it protects us. It protects us from these big emotions, and it brings us into our head. That's dissociation. It's almost like it does us a favor, because if we had to deal with those big emotions as a child, we would die, literally die. And so it protects us and it brings us up into our head because we don't feel our emotions in our head. And so now when you're being asked to feel this pain that you felt when you were younger, this unworthiness and not mattering, you've got your kings coming out. You got your ego self here using these two bookends, and they're going, no, you're not going there. You're not going there. Because that's what you learned when you were younger. Don't go there. They're dangerous. These emotions are very dangerous. Our ego self will act as a protector when we're younger, but the problem with the ego self is that it still thinks we're a child. It only remembers the past. And so because it only remembers the past, it wants to keep us in the past. And so you're going to stay up in your head. So every time it comes for you to deal with these emotions, there's this fear in you, this really scared ego self that says, no, don't go there. And you end up dissociating, you go back in your head. It doesn't want you to go into your body because that's where our emotions are. And that's why you're having such a difficult time feeling this pain that you need to feel. So what's the advice from the tarot right now? Well, you start off with this 3 of Cups card. And this Cups is, it's a cup, so it's a card of emotion. And these are these 3 feminine figures. You're going to hear me say, you've heard the Queen here, so we're talking about feminine qualities here. So this is a celebration of our feminine qualities. I'm feeling like for you, Aries, this is very much a card for you to celebrate the feminine in you. It's like, and it doesn't matter what gender you are, it's like you have these feminine qualities that you need to become aware of. And that's what these 3 figures are celebrating, the feminine in you. Because here's this 10 of Wands. This is the burdens. These are the burdens, the 10 of Wands. Look what they've done. They've done you in. And, here's an individual that's trying to hold on to these burdens, right? Trying to hold on to these wands. Wands cannot be held. The suit of wands needs to go. They're our creative purpose. They're this creative energy. They need to go, right? They're the ones that have the budding plants. They want to grow. But this individual is trying to hold them down. And finally, this is what it does to you. And so there's a real fear on your part, I know, to realizing that, you know what, it's time for you to deal with these burdens, to deal with some of this pain that you're sitting in right now. And right at the end of it, it has this 8 of Pentacles. It's like a little dangling of something, if you want, from the universe that says, here's this 8 of Pentacles here. And the 8 of Pentacles talks about a passionate, usually it can mean like a job, a different direction for you, something that you're going to commit yourself to. So I'm seeing here that there's a little promise here. And this is what happens when we start to really heal this pain, these big emotions, this unworthiness that you're feeling, when you start to chip away at it, when you go into your body, when you ground into your body, which is your feminine part of you, the body is feminine, our head is the masculine. And when we start to ground into that, and when we start to feel these emotions, that's when there's going to be some real opening for you to go into some passionate direction here for you, something that you will be passionate about. It's like a little promise that's sitting here, you know, it's going to come, it's something that's going to be sitting in your shadow that's going to come up for you. So, you know, there's a real promise in this reading, Aries, for you, but there's definitely a call for you to get back into your body and to start to discover that feminine side to you. So Aries, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is a very difficult journey, but it's the most important journey of your life. And I will leave you with a playlist, not a playlist, a video actually on how to do shadow work. And I'm also going to leave you with a video of your 2025 yearly reading that I did for you. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.